Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Alyssa. If you're new here, I'm so glad you joined us. I have not posted on here in almost a month, and that is purely because I'm struggling a little bit with burnout, and I just feel like because I'm just filming on my phone, every time I get the your iPhone storage is full notification, I literally like flip my shit, and then I just can't do anything more. And then I was also sick for like basically the whole month of May. It was my birthday month too. I was sick and I was in bed dying. I don't know what was going around and what was going on. And then also my dog, he's like 12 years old. He has been struggling a little bit, you know, he's just like a classic old man. And I've just been trying to spend more time with him, like taking care of him like he's a puppy again. But I love him. He's doing okay right now. I don't know, it's just been really hard to like find time to sit down and film a long form video. But I have been reading some books, so I've read 75 books so far this year. I'm officially halfway through my reading goal, which is really, really exciting. And I've had quite a bit of 5-star reads. I've had 13 full 5-star reads. Grab a little drink, grab a little snack. We are gonna yap about all of these books behind me. One is my literal obsession, These Burning Stars by Bethany Jacobs. This has become one of my all-time favorite sci-fi books. It is a sapphic sci-fi book that is absolutely phenomenal. Like literally, I've never read anything like this, and I don't think I ever will. Like, we have great political intrigue, we have sapphic romances, we have betrayals, plot twists. Oh my god, the betrayals! My heart still hurts from this. Like literally, oh my god, I was put through the ringer. 3 different POVs. One of them is a runaway, and she basically finds this information to take down the kingdom. Nobody obviously wants that because they are in power. So basically there's these 2 people that are basically hunting her down and trying to get that information. But then there's so many like twists and turns and secrets. What I love about this book is that it is so compelling. Rips you from the beginning to the end. I adore these characters. God, I can't stop thinking about that. Like this is a very good revenge story. I love anything to do with revenge, female rage, everything like that, and this, such a great depiction of it. Like I adore this book. And the second book is out. I have not read it yet. I really need to get on that because I did really love this one. And the third book is supposed to come out this year. This Brutal Moon, I think it's called. I'm so excited. I adore these characters. I am going to do a reread of this and annotate it because I just feel like it's going to be even better on the reread. Next we have The Hunger of the Gods and the Fear of the Gods by Gwynne. These are books 2 and 3 in the Bloodsworn saga. The first book is The Shadow of the Gods. I love that book. But these 2, books 2 and 3 in the Bloodsworn saga, were both 5 stars. The first one was only a 4.5, but this series lives literally rent-free in my mind. Like these characters, I think about them every single day. I think about what happened to them, their stories, everything about them. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with the series. First book, we follow 3 different POVs. One of them is a mother who basically wants revenge for her son because her son gets kidnapped, and Orca, my literal queen, she's one of the best female main characters that has a like revenge story arc, and she is so compelling and incredible, and everyone I've talked to loves Orca because she's just the queen. She's the best ever. Like I literally am obsessed with her. And anyways, we have 2 other characters. One of them is going to and is in the Battle Grim, and then the other, which is like a group of people who are like fighting, and then there's another group called the Bloodsworn, and basically one of the other people is in those, and then you see their stories interconnect and intertwine. What I loved about these 2 books is that it took everything that I loved from book 1, but like kicked it up times like 1,000 because of the devastation I felt while reading The Gods. I finished like 70% of this in line for a concert, and I have not felt the same since. I have not been the same. I don't know how I did that. I was trying my best to not bawl my eyes out at like a literal baby. We get so much more of the gods because it's about like Norse mythology. The world is so vivid and imaginative, and it's just so good. If you want something about quests and about a mother's love and about revenge, to read this trilogy. Read more of Gwynne's books. I really want to read I think it's called the Faithful and the Fallen series, like the one that starts with Malice. I really want to read that one because I've heard phenomenal things. It's not familiar with your game, but I'm sorry I doubted you. I had no idea I was going to fall in love with these so much. Next, of course, Oathbound by Tracy Deonn. This is the 3rd book in the Legendborn cycle. The first one is Legendborn, the second one is Bloodmarked. I did do a reread of Bloodmarked, and that one is 5 stars, but I'm not counting rereads in this because I already knew that I was obsessed with that. But this one, I was not expecting the direction that this book was going in. Like, I think Tracy Deonn did such a great job at bringing these characters to life and making them more mature as the story goes along, because in the first book it more so follows your like stereotypical like fantasy story. We have a girl who's going to this new college named Bree, and she's grieving her mother. And then one night she sees this monster, and she sees somebody slaying this monster. Then she gets thrown into this world of like new politics and magic and lore and everything like that. And I think Tracy Deonn has done a great job at expanding off of that, because it is so much more than that. This book also made me appreciate Nick so much more, because we have like two potential love interests, Nick and Sel. I was not a Nick girl. Like from the first book, I was like, okay, he's boring. In the second book, I was like, This book, it made me realize and appreciate him in such a different light. Maybe it was the different POVs. Maybe it was because they're more mature now. Conversations that they were having to each other, I was like, kill me now. But I love, love, love the story. The cliffhanger, always brutal. Always brutal. Cannot wait for the fourth book. I need it immediately. If you haven't read this series, it is one of my favorite YA series, like of all time. The first book was a 4.5. The second book was a 5. And this one is of course a 5. And I'm so scared, but so excited for the fourth one. But I have a feeling we're gonna have to wait like 2 or 3 years. And then I'm gonna have to reread this all over again, but I'm not mad about that. Next book is A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross. This is the second book in the Elements of Cadence duology. The first one is A River Enchanted, one of my absolute favorite books of all time. But this book, I don't know if you can see these tabs. I read this and devoured this like 450-ish page book in 4 hours. I annotated, I was zooming through this. I absolutely adore this series. Main character Jack, and he has not been to the island where he's from in a very, very, very long time. But then he gets basically this letter saying, oh, you need to come back. Like, we need you and your harp. We need you and your music, because he's a bard, everything like that. Then he finds out it's from his childhood rival who wrote him the letter. And there's basically little girls going missing, and they're not exactly sure what's going on. There are some magical forces underway and everything like that. But we also follow another POV, Sidra, and she is one of my favorite characters. She's one of my favorite mothers in fantasy books. She is so badass. I literally love her. She is somebody who works well with like medicine and everything. Her story broke my heart and like put it back together. Her story's a little bit of like a marriage in crisis, because they are going through it a little bit, and then something happens and then they start to like reconnect. It is just so good. And this second book just was everything I loved about the first book was also in this one. It is so magical and enchanting, and this is my favorite Rebecca Ross duology. Like, I think this is her at her peak. The writing, immaculate, beautiful, so compelling and cozy, but like not cozy boring, like cozy whimsical. It is just so good. I expected to love, but not as much as I did, is Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. Now, I'm an Octavia E. Butler stan. I will read anything that she has ever written. But this book, I don't know what it was. I think it was the time that I read it, and like just how much I was like immersed in the story and how much I felt for these characters. I literally flew through this in one night, and this packed a huge punch for me. So in this book, it is kind of like magical realism, like literary fiction, historical fiction, kind of. I follow Dana. She's a 20th century Black woman. It is just her birthday, but then what happens on her birthday when she basically gets sucked back throughout time to the antebellum South, and she's basically tasked with saving this random white man named Rufus. And she's like, what's going on? But then as time goes on, she gets repeatedly pulled back, and also each stake, it keeps getting longer and longer and longer. This book touches on so many great topics. We have topics about racism, slavery, white supremacy, literally every single thing, sexism, everything. I was literally felt like I was there with Dana. I was feeling everything she was going through. I was scared with her. I was happy with her. I was angry. I was, oh my God. Octavia E. Butler has this phenomenal way of writing that's like so easy to get lost in and so easy to get into, because it's like simplistic, but not like too simplistic where it's like boring. It's like simplistic where it's like you can understand where the story is going and gets you immediately hooked and like wanting to read more. It is that kind of writing. It is phenomenal. I am obsessed with this story. This one is my favorite out of the ones that I've read, but I do really need to basically go through her whole backlist and read even more, because I adore this one so much. Next book is He Who Drowned the World by Shelly Parker Chan. The first book is She Who Became the Sun. I adore this series. This is a sapphic military duology. It is fucking phenomenal. The first book I gave a solid 4.5 stars. It was a debut, and you can certainly tell that in certain aspects, but it is still super interesting. And this book took everything from book 1 and revamped it and made it one of my all-time favorite books. That literally destroyed me. Like, there is a part in here where I was on my bed sobbing and could not stop because I was so distraught. Like literally emotional pain, but so worth it because I love this duology. So in the first book, She Became the Sun, we follow Zoo, and basically her destiny is nothing and she wants to change that. And her brother is basically was said to be destined for greatness. So what happens when her brother and her dad dies, and she takes her brother's like name and place and goes to this monastery and becomes a monk. And it's basically, that's the whole beginning. And then it's her journey being a monk. What I also love about this series is the conversations and the topics surrounding gender and gender identity, because Zoo is a woman who's like dressing up as a man, but some days she feels like a woman, sometimes she feels like a man, sometimes she feels like neither. It's like so great of how everything's just so like normalized and intertwined with her thoughts and her feelings. Like there's so many conversations that she has with herself that it's like, oh, like everybody's calling me he, but like I'm like a she, but I'm also not. Like it's so good. I'm absolutely obsessed with this series. It's also sapphic, and I loved our romance in this between Zoo and Ma. Like they were so cute and amazing. I also loved like the siblings, like, but you're not blood related siblings, but you're basically like brother and sister. You're like the sibling dynamics and how you will go to the ends of the world for each other, and how you know that you will like follow them to wherever they're going. Like it is so good. It touched my heart. I'm absolutely obsessed with the series. Like it is so good, and I think it deserves way more love. Specifically the second book, it is way darker than the first one, but like the pain. This is the first two books in the Wayfarer series by Becky Chambers. We have The Long Way to a Small and Great Planet and A Closed and Common Door. I haven't read books 3 and 4 yet. I really want to because I fell in love with this series. This is my first Becky Chambers book. I was not familiar with her game. Like I'm obsessed with these. So in the first book, it is kind of your classic like found family cozy sci-fi book. We have a main character who takes this new job on a spaceship, and she becomes confidants with so many of them. There's so many different characters. Some are loud, some are funny, some are quiet. They're all so good. And then they take like this opportunity of a lifetime to get lots of money, and then things start happening. This book broke me at the end, but also like the sapphic romance in this, the found family, just it hit all the feels. I love this book. The writing was so immersive as well. It's a lot of talks about the interrace species, the whole like politics, also the whole world, because they are like on a spaceship the whole time, but it is so interesting. And the second book, A Closed and Common Orbit, I'm not going to tell you who it's about. It's about one of the people in the first book. It's about one of them that takes a slightly different journey. You can probably guess at the end of the first one. Who's it about? About hope and love and basically finding yourself again. It is so good. This one hit me even more in the feels than this first one. Like, I don't actually know which one I like more. They were both 5 stars though. Like, I adored it. Like, these characters live rent-free in my mind, and this is a must-read cozy fantasy series. Cozy fantasy. Must-read cozy sci-fi series. I've never read cozy sci-fi before, but I love it because I've been really getting into more sci-fi books this year, and these hit the mark for me. Next, we have The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, and, which I don't own, unfortunately, I need to get it, Sunrise on the Reaping, also by Suzanne Collins. Now, my Hunger Games ranking may be a little bit controversial because I feel like everybody puts this book at the bottom or like one of the last ones, and I love it. My first one is Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. My second one out of the 5 is Sunrise on the Reaping. My third is Catching Fire. My fourth is The Hunger Games, and my fifth is Mockingjay. Now, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is my favorite. One, because it is written in third person, and I'm such a third person girl. I think it adds so much more to the story because you get to see a lot of the world around them, specifically in like dystopian and fantasy series. Like, I thought it was brilliantly well done. I also love being in the villain's mind. I love knowing everything that they're thinking and the fucked up thoughts that leads them to make different decisions, and how it's like, oh, how am I going to manipulate this person? How am I going to manipulate them? Like, what do I want out of this conversation? I find all of that so interesting, and that is why this one is at the top, because we follow Coriolanus Snow. For the longest time, I was saying Cornelius while I was reading this. I don't know why, but it's Coriolanus. Anyways, we follow Snow, and it's basically him when he's 18, and it's him like starting to get more into like the Hunger Games. It is the 10th Hunger Games, and he basically gets Lucy Gray as his victor. He's one of the first mentors, and it is so brilliantly well done. The ending is very open-ended, but I thought it worked really well for the story. And then Sunrise on the Reaping. This one was the one that I had the most like emotional reaction to. I think because I knew a lot of these characters, specifically Haymitch, because it's about Haymitch's games, the 50th annual Hunger Games. A lot of people say it's fan service because of the amount of characters that we already knew. Let's be real. It was only 50 games. Like, there's not that many people like around, and obviously they pick certain people to like punish. And I did not think this was fan service. I love seeing all these characters because obviously you can tell in the original like trilogy, they have history and you get to see what that history is. And I thought it was done so well. This book broke me. My sister found me sobbing on the couch after she came home from work. I was literally like sobbing so bad. I like didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know what to pick up after this. I read this and Oathbound in the same month, and that might have been a mistake, but it was the best month of my life. It was so good. I loved both of these books. They are both incredible, and these are definitely my top two favorite Hunger Games books. The two most recent ones, The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. This is probably the most fun I've had with a fantasy book in a very, very, very long time because it is a very dense first in a trilogy epic fantasy book. This was fucking phenomenal. We have everything that I know and love in fantasy books. We have a dense first book with great political intrigue. We have trials, but like trials that are not like overused and like that don't make sense. Like I thought they were very unique and I had a great time reading them because they added a lot to the story and they just made sense with like the characters and everything that was going on. So it really, really, really made sense. And I thought it was perfect for this book. We also have animal companions that were so funny. We have a great romance, like the little dregs of romance that you get. Chef's kiss. Oh my god, the tension, the yearning, phenomenal. We have great characters. We have phenomenal writing. Like this writing, so descriptive, so incredible. And what I really loved about this book was that the whole first part was about a character that I did not expect. And I was like, okay, where's this going? But there's a decision in the beginning that basically like is like a domino effect. Like there's so many things that came out of that and happened after, and it made so much sense. And I loved how every single decision and every problem and everything surrounded one particular main event for literally every single person. It was so cool. I love the narrative style because it was kind of written as like you were there, but then also you were looking down on like the people from like above. Like it was so cool. The whole like different things and like the whole magic system was so cool. And every 24 years there is a new emperor. So there's like 7 or 8 different like contestants, and they compete in these trials to see who becomes the next emperor. The Raven contestant ends up dying. Nima is basically voluntold to take her place in the trials. She is not prepared, does not want to. She doesn't want to be emperor, but you know what? She's going to give it her best shot. She is also tasked with investigating this murder and figuring out what's going on. There is so many twists and turns in this. Like oh my god, I wish I could read this for the first time again. It was so fun and phenomenal. And the last book, which I just finished a couple days ago and you will be seeing in a reading vlog sometime soon, is Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. Now, I am a V.E. Schwab stan. I have read almost all of their books. Not quite all of them. Not a lot of I haven't read their debut. I haven't read some of their like middle grade ones. All the other ones I have read and I've loved. Like I love their writing. This one I think is my favorite V.E. Schwab book. So this one is pitched as toxic lesbian vampires. We have 3 different POVs. We have one that's in like the 1500s, one that's in like the 1800s, and then one that's in 2019. And you start to see their stories like intertwine and interconnect, but it's a lot of gradual buildup and it's just so good. We have the classic, like beautiful, stunningly gorgeous V.E. Schwab writing. Like I don't know how they do it, but their writing is literally top tier. I felt so much for these characters, but also emphasis on toxic because there were some like flashbacks in here that I was like, my god, I was like, that is so fucked up. But I also just like could not stop reading because I wanted to know what happened, but I also didn't want this to end. It was so good. This is probably my favorite book of the year as a whole so far. Absolutely phenomenal. Give me 15 more of these. V.E. Schwab, you need to write purely sapphic books from now on because I love this. I also love anything that's sapphic vampire. So I am a little biased, but this was so good, like actually so good. I don't know if you can see all of my tabs. I was tabbing, circling, annotating, literally every single like page has something. Oh my god. I think some people won't like the ending of this because it does kind of end fast and abrupt, but I thought it worked really well for the story, and I'm glad how it ended. It shocked me. I was expecting one thing. There was another thing that happened. I was not expecting that, but also the like longing and yearning that these characters have for each other. Oh, stop. I can't. I'm gonna start crying. I was sobbing at the end of this. This one comes out June 10th, so please pre-order this one. You will not regret it. It is my favorite book of the year so far. And that is all the books for today's video. So these were my 5-star reads, the ones that I've read this year, have loved. I have like gone back and forth between some books that I originally rated 5 stars, but ultimately they weren't ending up to be like an outstanding 5-star. And there were also some books that I rated a little bit lower on this list, like some of them a 4.5, that I ended up bumping up to a 5 because I just couldn't stop thinking about them. And I'm like, no, realistically, I was just being too harsh. They were really good. Hopefully I will be able to film some more videos soon. I am planning on getting a new like camera like setup, and hopefully we'll get some new like phone storage will happen, and hopefully I'll have more videos out for you guys. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this. Please comment one of your favorite books of so far this year, because I always love getting more recommendations. So please comment one of your 5-star reads of the year, or if we have any similarities, because we may have some crossovers. But thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time.